Hello, my name is Kelsey and welcome to Becoming Home. The crepe myrtles are blooming in our yard. Aren't they pretty? One day I'd love to have the time and money to plant my own flower garden, and then we could have gardening videos on this channel too. But today we're talking about upholstery, so let's get started. This wingback chair was the very first project I reupholstered. This was before I had a YouTube channel. I didn't have a sewing machine, so I used pleats to gather excess fabric on the curves of the chair. I actually love how the pleats look on the wingbacks. I purchased some classic navy fabric to replace the outdated blue pattern fabric. I took lots of pictures and reverse engineered the chair so that I could put it all back together. I love the result and it was a lot of fun to do. But a couple months into its new existence, we got puppies. And puppies can be destructive. We came home one evening and they had ripped one of the side panels and had somehow pulled out all the decorative tacks I had put on the front of the arms. I don't know how in the world they did that. So today I'm going to show you how I repaired the damage they did, and one day I'll reupholster an entire chair so we can have a full tutorial on the channel. Grab your supplies. I have my staple gun, hammer, pliers, and flathead screwdrivers. I then have my leftover fabric, scissors, a pen, and some new decorative accents. As you can see, there's no redeeming the ripped panel. I'll have to replace it. There's also some loose fabric and gaps around the arm of the chair. Although only one panel got damaged, because of the way the fabric is attached to the frame, I'll have to partially dismantle some of the other panels as well. So here goes. I'm removing the staples along the bottom of the chair using a flathead screwdriver and pliers. Then I'm removing the one chair leg that's in my way. It has two screws that hold it in place, as well as a bolt and nut that fastens inside the frame. After removing a couple more staples, I have enough space and slack to work. Now I can remove the staples that hold the rip panel to the frame. Bandit got curious and decided he wanted to feature in the video. I wonder if he remembers the destruction he caused. Once the bottom was done, I had to free the fabric from the back of the chair. Now on the back, the fabric is held to the frame using a tack strip, which is a flat metal rod studded with spikes. This tool allows you to get a clean straight line and attach the fabric to the chair without visible staples. I don't want to remove the whole back panel, so I'm just prying up the tack strip so I can get to the staples holding my ripped panel in place. Now I can carefully remove the staples and try not to get poked by the spikes. Next, I'm going to tighten up the loose fabric on the arm of the chair. I'm stretching the fabric down and tightening it before I staple it in place. If you watched my vintage phone table video, you know that my staple gun is not very powerful, so I have to go back and pound in the staples with a hammer. I need a staple here that will be higher than the side panel. So if I don't want the staple to be visible, I need to staple it underneath the first layer of fabric. The last two staples will be covered by the side panel, so I can just go ahead and staple them as usual. Here you can catch a little glimpse of what the fabric used to be. It was a lighter blue and had a zigzag sort of pattern on it. This fabric just needs to be pulled back around the arm and stapled down. Now that we have everything tidied up and tightened, we can go ahead and cut out our new panel using the old ripped panel as a guide. Place the old panel on top of the new fabric and then mark the edges with your pen. Make a cut with your scissors and then rip the fabric with your hands. Since you don't need a clean edge, I think this method is faster than using scissors and I get straighter lines when I rip than when I cut. Ha! Now that we have the correct size rectangle, I can stretch out the strings that pulled, and then it needs to be ironed. Once your fabric is wrinkle-free, you'll need a folded edge on the top edge of the panel and on the front side edge of the panel. So figure out how much overlap you need, fold it over, and then iron it down. Now, in order to get a nice sharp edge where the panel meets the arm of the chair, we'll construct a makeshift tack strip using cardboard. Cut a thin strip from an Amazon box or cereal box and place it underneath the fold. Next, line up the fabric and then flip over the top section so that you can attach the fabric by stapling it through the cardboard. Make sure the cardboard stays right up against your iron line and try to keep it nice and straight. Once it's secure, you can see how clean the edge is by allowing that fabric to drape over the straight cardboard. Now you can staple down the front side of your fabric. Again, in order to have invisible staples, you will need to staple underneath the fold. Because we don't have to worry about visible staples for the bottom and the back, these next two steps are much easier. Pull down your fabric so that it's stretched slightly and attach it to the bottom of the frame. Now when we get to the chair leg, we can make a cut in the fabric and then tuck it up underneath. This way we get a nice fold where the fabric meets the leg, but can still get it nice and tight around the bottom of the chair. Tuck the excess fabric around the back of the chair and pull it tight. The metal tack strip will hold this fabric in place without any visible staples. Now when we pulled up the tack strip, some of the spikes bent. You can use your pliers to straighten the spikes so that they point directly into the frame. Now that you have your tack strip aligned and your fabric pulled tight, use a hammer to pound the spikes into the wood. This creates such a nice clean seam with no gaps. Now that our new panel is reattached to the frame, we can staple our protective dust jacket back to the bottom. Then it's time to reattach the leg. You can just poke the bolt straight through the fabric. The chair legs are why I ended up having to have those cuts in the fabric. I needed to be able to attach the nut. There's probably a better way to do it, so I'll have to research that before my next upholstery project. Use your screwdriver to screw the leg firmly into place. Next, I'm loosely sewing together the cuts in my dust jacket. This will prevent them from hanging down and being seen. If I ever need to remove the legs, I can just cut through the thread. Last but not least, hammer in a decorative brass tack to accent the arms and hide the edges of the pleats. I think brass and navy look so good together. And that's it. There were a couple of places on the front of the chair where the fabric gaped more than I liked, so I went back with a hot glue gun to secure it tightly to the chair. And here is the finished product. I think the repair went well, and I like the single brass tack better than the multiple brass studs I had before. This chair used to sit in my living room, but I think I'll keep it up here in my bedroom, out of the destructive path of our dogs. What did you guys think of this repair job? Would you be interested in seeing a full chair reupholstery tutorial? Let me know in the comments below. I'd also love to see pictures of any upholstery projects that you guys have completed or are currently working on. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Check out some of my other videos and playlists by clicking here. I post every Friday at 9 a.m. Central. Thanks to everybody out there supporting and watching my channel, and cheers for now.